Welcome back to the Angry Man Podcast with Jason and Greg. Jaron Ennis is now the IBF welterweight champion. The former champion, Terence Crawford, still has the other three titles. Probably won't have those soon since he's probably going to move up to 154. Now, with Jaron Ennis being the champion, of course, there's really no excuse not to fight him. We've heard excuses like, he's not a champion. He doesn't really have a whole lot to offer. I would venture to say that he does have a lot to offer to someone like a Keith Thurman. But I'm pretty sure that Keith Thurman wouldn't be next. And according to Greg Hackett, the next opponent for Jaron Ennis will, in fact, be Cody Crowley. Now, we heard from Bozy Ennis stating that Crowley backed out of a fight. And so I'm not sure why Crowley would be moving back to or going back to the negotiating table at this point if he had already backed out of the fight. And it seemed like maybe he got a little bit of cold feet as the actual fight date approached. But I don't know. Greg Hackett seems to be familiar with the situation. We know that he has just announced that he's coming back on January 20th. And I think that is the same card that I think he's kind of saying Boots might be on or something to that effect. So we'll see. We heard Boots also talk a little bit about Barrios, that Barrios name has been brought up. Now, I do like the Barrios fight for Jaron Ennis just because Barrios did so well against Ugas, and we know that Ugas was one of the names that were out there in terms of welterweights that had a significant name at the welterweight division, right? Had been in the ring with Errol Spence, had been in the ring with Sean Porter, so that was a logical step for Jaron Ennis. And with him losing recently and Barrios coming out victorious, I think that is an excellent opportunity for both Barrios, but also an opportunity to show where Jaron Ennis truly stacks up in the welterweight division. Now, personally, I think Jaron Ennis is elite at welterweight. There is no doubt in my mind. There's a lot of people that try to, give him slack because he has not fought some of the bigger names in the division. I think that's partially due to the fact that he's so dangerous and he doesn't bring a lot of money to the table right now. It is what it is. But it will give him one more step towards proving that you are the elite welterweight in the division, or at least one of the elite welterweights in the division.
Yep.
So, Jay, what's your thoughts on that? The potential of Crowley or Barrios. I like both of those fights. Would love to see him in the ring with Keith Thurman. But we already know that Boots still wants that smoke with Terence Crawford. He said it. And so for those of you who are Terence Crawford fans who feel that Jaron Ennis is simply an email champ, he was given the title, so forth and so on. Well, he's still telling you that he wants smoke with Terence Crawford. Yeah. And so if Terence Crawford wants that smoke, Jaron Ennis will oblige. And according to YSM, there was never a deal on the table for Jaron Ennis to face Terence Crawford, which we already knew. We knew that.
That's just the talking point they run with.
It's just a talking point that they love to run with. But, Jay, what's your thoughts on the possibility of Jaron Ennis versus Crowley or Barrios?
I like it. I mean, it was rumored out, Bozy already said this will fight on November 25th anyway. Boots and Crowley. So, in my mind, that would have been for the vacant IBF title. Crowley backed out for whatever reason, according to Bozy. So if they are going to fight in January instead of January, February when they're supposed to fight, I believe, like you said, Greg had just said January 20th, which is a Saturday, or January 13th is a Saturday. I know some things might be going down for January 13th from what I've seen, but I'm good with either one. I like both of those fights. I think I'd rather the Barrios fight than the Crowley fight because Barrios has more pop. And Barrios has recently looked really good against Ugas. I know Ugas was coming off a long layoff off of a tough fight with Spence where he took a beating. He had a lot of injuries and whatnot. He's older as well, but he's still a crafty veteran fighter. Versus Crowley, who Crowley looked good in his last fight as well. But I'm not that high on Crowley like I am on Barrios. I think if Boots fights Barrios, it's also a test of, Barrios has fought Thurman and he's already fought Tank Davis. Crowley hasn't fought those level of fighters before. At least Barrios has. Although he lost both fights, he's still up in his ante as far as fighting Boots. Fighting Tank, fighting Thurman, then fighting Ugas and handling Ugas, dropping Ugas several times. So I'd definitely be intrigued in that fight. But I'd be intrigued in either one because it's a step up for Boots either way. It's going to add to Boots' resume to people that are saying, well, Boots not fighting anybody. He's been trying. You know, truth be told, he's been trying to petition for the IBF for the last year to 2 years anyway to try to be there. But they allowed Spence not to defend against him because Spence was trying to unify and be undisputed in the division, which makes sense. And that it sucks for Boots for a while, but now we know he got the belt. He's going to defend. And if Bud wants to be undisputed again, officially on the books again, just go back down and fight Boots and get your belt back. That's all you got to do. Simple as that. So then we'll know if he really wanted to smoke with Boots or if Boots is supposedly not enough of a risk, not enough of a reward for him based on the risk. So Boots still wants to smoke with Bud. Bud wants to be undisputed officially again and have that belt. Fight Boots, get it out the way after you fight Spence, and then you don't have to. No one can say anything. No one can cry about they took the belt from Bud. Nah. It was gonna happen regardless who won that fight between Spence and Bud, because neither one's kind of staying at 147. So Boots is gonna get a chance to really, like you said, take over 147, and I'm looking forward to it because I think the kid has the goods to be the next at 147 for sure.
Yeah, nope, I agree. This is gonna happen regardless, and it wasn't. So
Exactly.
Here's the thing that's interesting to me about the Terence Crawford fans.
It's not a Bud thing.
You will hear from Terence Crawford fans that he could have fought him at the WBO, but he took the IBF route. Why didn't he petition? Okay, but so they have that issue, but then they also have an issue with Terence Crawford being stripped because the IBF is enforcing the fact that Jaron Ennis is next and he's already petitioned the IBF. So you had an issue with him petitioning the WBO that he didn't petition the WBO, but you don't have an issue. But now you got an issue with the fact that he petitioned the IBF and he got stripped. Like, which one is it? Which one is it?
Also, the WBO, Greg, he won a mandatory. He wasn't one. Ortiz was number one.
Yeah, exactly. So none of that stuff makes no sense to me whatsoever. Jaron Ennis petitioned the IBF. He took the IBF route. So he's already petitioned Terence Crawford, and because Terence Crawford decided that he wasn't going to take the fight, then they stripped him of the title. Like, why are you upset about that? It makes no sense to me. And Crawford's moving up to 54 anyway. Because he got bigger. You guys said that Terence Crawford got bigger and better things to do than Jaron Ennis. Okay, so then they're going to take the fight. They're going to take the belt from him. Like, you want Terence Crawford. They want Terence Crawford to be able to hold the belt and then also make the same excuse of that Terence Crawford is doing bigger and better things than Jaron Ennis. No, he doesn't have to defend the title against him because he's doing bigger and better things. Just let him be a champion in perpetuity until he decides that he wants to give up the title. What do you talk? Like, it makes absolutely no sense to me. I cannot understand some of the things that people say in the comment section and then will just say we're haters. Maybe it's not we're haters. Maybe you're just a nut hugger. Have you ever thought about that? You guys tell us what you think in the comment section in regards to Jaron Ennis and who he may face next. Don't forget to hate, like, comment, and subscribe. This is the Angry Man Podcast, AM Sports Media, and we are out.